in Laurel, Mississippi. It's so good to see you. A lot of the faces I recognize. And first of all, I do have my cold drink here. It is a Diet Coke and it's an Ohio State tumbler. I recently had the pleasure of going to the Ohio conference about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the Ohio clerks were just wonderful. Put that on your bucket list to go to an Ohio conference because they are fabulous. And then in about 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to Wisconsin. And the good thing about both of those locations, I'm hoping it'll be a lot cooler than South Mississippi. I don't know about y'all, but it has been really hot down here in South Mississippi. So I'm looking forward to going up north. First of all, I would like to welcome you, of course, and thank you for joining us today. There were a few questions that were proposed, so we'll go ahead and start there. The first question, everybody wants to know about the Education Plus program. And as you know, it did launch on July 1, the opening period, and the closing date was July 31st. Now, understand there's 79 people who have enrolled, and we are excited about that. We're excited about this successful launch of this new program. There was a question about some classes in Florida, like supervisor classes that would count. And I think that would probably be a case-by-case basis. You probably need to run that by Dr. B and see if those classes meet the education requirements of the Education Plus program. I think that would probably be my best answer for that. And then I had another question. Someone was asking me how to become a member of a committee. Oh, excellent question. It's real easy. There's a form, you fill it out, you send it into the IIMC office. Real easy. Just pick which committees are your first, second, third. I try to point people to their first choice, but sometimes it's second or third, depending on how many people are already on that committee. But if you would like to become a committee member, just send it in. And usually that cycle starts in December, January for next year. But because a lot of the committees have already started, obviously, for this year. But if you would like to go ahead and send this one in. We'll see if we can get you on a committee. But if not, please, by all means, apply for next year because that cycle will start again, at least in January. Okay. I had another question. Someone was asking about a deputy clerk and if for a mid-sized city, do you think a deputy clerk is a good idea or a bad idea? The position of a deputy clerk. And I was thinking on it because that's an interesting question. I think in the small town, that's definitely true. I think you need a deputy clerk because it's a good idea to have a backup to the city clerk. You know, if it is all possible to do that. I know in the larger cities, it's become more specialized. So maybe a deputy clerk might have a different title. But I've been into what I would call mid-sized cities. And I would say they're very much definitely needed because the city clerk usually takes vacation or leave or whatever. And it's a good idea to have a backup when you have someone who is absent, especially if there is a medical emergency, have someone there who can step into that role and take that on. By any chance, is the person on this call who submitted that question? Okay, maybe they'll be on this afternoon. The other question I had was about my schedule. And like I said, I had the opportunity to go to Ohio. I see an Ohio clerk on here. In fact, we had a great time. And we they do things differently in Ohio than they do in Mississippi, believe it or not. And I think there's a lot we can learn from each other. And I love the opportunity to go to other states. One thing we got to do is do a tour and a dinner of the German village there in Columbus. And then we went to the zoo for our conference event. That was a treat. And then the classes, it's interesting how, like we said earlier, classes are different in different conferences, different things. And so I was able to share some ideas with our Mississippi clerks. The upcoming conference is going to be in Wisconsin, and I'm excited about that one. And then in September, we'll go back out to California for the budget meeting, which is always fun. And then, of course, the big conference is this symposium, the Study Abroad Symposium. Do we have any people on the call planning on going to the Netherlands and Belgium? I see some hands going up. Wonderful, wonderful. This is going to be a wonderful opportunity, a chance to learn from other countries. It's important to learn from other states, and that's a treat. But learning from other countries, people who, like in the Netherlands, have a monarch. So it's going to be very interesting and a great learning opportunity. I'm going to ask the people who attend to write us a little paragraph back on their learning experience, just a little paragraph, a little snippet on what they learned, what stuck out to them, so we could share with each other, for those of us, who are not attending, to learn from each other. I think that will be interesting. Okay, what else we got? I've just been approved to go to the Tennessee Clerks Conference. I'm excited about going to TAMCAR in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And I'm working with Louisiana, so I'm hoping to get to go to Louisiana. Let's see, who else is down here? Of course, there's the SLCC, which will be in England in October. I think Lisa Garcia is going to represent us, so we are excited about her going. So you can see we have a full package. Of course, November will be our board meeting. There will be some things discussed at board meeting if y'all would like me to. I see a bunch of faces. I'm not getting much feedback, but I'm hoping this is interesting for y'all. One thing we've had a lot of MMCs, of course, recently, because everybody was trying to get their MMCs before the EPP deadline. So our plaque, how beautiful the MMC plaques are. Well, our plaque distributor is no more. And so we're just having to distribute certificates. If you paid for a plaque, we'll be refunding that money. One of my deputies actually was a MMC, and she got it framed, and it was beautiful, because in Laurel we couldn't even find anyone to do plaques. I guess that's a dying art or something, but it'll be up to the clerk then to, if they're able to get a plaque or if they want to frame it, it'll be up to them then. We'll be discussing this more at the board meeting, but right now the plaques are on hold. The elections committee has met. They've been hard at work. It's nothing major, no major changes, but some deadlines that we're going to shift. And they're also going to be looking at some campaign rules. So they're going to be making a report next Thursday. Let me back up. Next Thursday, our board meeting will be virtual. Our board will meet virtually next Thursday. And so the elections committee will present a report, but it's not for action. It will just be for information purposes only. And then come November, we will discuss and vote on it at the November board meeting in Orlando. The next time for enrollment for the Education Plus program will be in January of 2026. I'm just going down through my list here. And now we can talk about the exciting thing, the conference in Calgary. This is going to be a wonderful experience. Last year, I got to go to Alberta, Canmore, Alberta, for the Alberta Clerks Conference, and they did a fantastic job. They know how to put on a conference in Alberta. So I have no doubt that Calgary is going to top Canmore. So I really want to encourage everyone to put in their budgets to go ahead and start saving their money to go to Calgary. And that will be next May. I think it's the week before Memorial Day. So kind of like the last week in May. They have all kinds of fun things planned. Now, back in June, I had the opportunity to go to Ontario, Canada. And one of the guest speakers was this man named Sean Booth. Y'all can look him up on YouTube. He's fascinating. We were just mesmerized looking at him every move. For those of you who went to Little Rock last year, and you remember how exciting Clint Carver was at that session in Little Rock, how we were all upstanding and singing, and while he played the drums. You remember that? This guy, totally different genre, totally different. It's rap, but it's going to be very high energy like that. We are going to be on our feet. We're going to be all engaged. It is going to be fantastic. And what he does is he takes leaders of different nations, different time periods, and he picks one and he puts it, their good and bad leadership styles to rap. And it was amazing. I was just like this the whole time. He just was so captivating. He kept your attention. So I talked to IMC staff, and we have him for Calgary. He's from Toronto. So we have a Canadian, Stephen. We have a Canadian at our opening session. It will be a treat. Stephen, did you hear about him? I can't hear you, Stephen.
Sorry, I had connection problems. I did hear about him. My deputy clerk was at the AMCTO conference that you attended. I sent my deputy instead of myself, and he said he was great. So it'll be a good experience in Calgary, besides the fact that Calgary is just a great city anyways.
I can't wait. This is going to be a wonderful opportunity. It's a beautiful city. We had a real good site visit. So the hotels are nice. And this was kind of funny. The Mississippi clerks back in Minneapolis threw me a reception for becoming president-elect, and then president. So I couldn't think of anyone to be at the entertainment. And I said, well, what do y'all think about doing some karaoke? And everybody's like, wow. And I was real nervous, y'all, because I was afraid I was going to be the entertainment that night. But oh no, we have some very talented people who are in the IMC, and everybody came out and did a great job. So we're even talking about maybe doing a karaoke fundraiser for the IMC Foundation while we're in Calgary. So I think that would be fun. We'll see, but I really think that would be a fun event. Okay, and then of course, I see a lot of new faces, a lot of faces I don't know. I'm glad I'm getting to meet y'all. And if you want to run for the board, of course, that will be probably January. We will be taking applications if you want to become a region director, and just talk to us, talk to IMC, and we'll be happy to help you with that process. Okay. I have gone through my list. And so do y'all have anything that you have questions for me?
While we're waiting for additional questions, we have we're graced with the presence of some members of the board this morning.
Yes, we do. I would love to introduce you to the board members. I see up here on the top row, Travis Morris. Travis, would you like to speak to us?
Good morning. I hope everyone's doing well.
Oh, good. Are you staying nice and cool, I hope?
I wish.
I wish. It seems like everybody all over the country is hot. Next, I see Sue Hay. Sue?
Hi, everyone. I'm the region director from Region 1, which is all of the New England states plus New York. So it's the upper little, part of the United States that just bows upward.
And last March, I had the opportunity to go to Cooperstown, New York, and to the Region 1 conference. And there was snow about this high off the ground. I could do with some of that snow right now, Sue.
It was fun, and we were so glad that you were there.
Oh, thank you. I had a great time. And then I see Tori Frink. Go ahead, Tori.
Good morning, Region 3.
Well, great. It's so good to see you. You and staying cool?
Yes,
Yes,
trying.
yes, good. Inside. Well, very good. And then I see Lee Frazier, another region director from Region 3.
Good morning to everyone.
And I know what the weather is like in Alabama. It's the same as Mississippi.
Scorching hot.
Now, I believe you had a conference in Point Clear not too long ago.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Beautiful place. Should visit
Oh,
sometime.
Point Clear is beautiful. Really nice. Okay, and then we have a past region director, Stephen Hype. Stephen?
Hi, all. From up here in Canada. Yeah, I was Region 10 director up until May. While some of our country is hot, interestingly enough, here in Southern Ontario, despite what you might think with all the forest fires, we've actually been not over the top hot or dry, which is very unheard of for us. So.
Thank you, Stephen. I want to brag on the Ontario clerks. They were fabulous. And I had never been to Niagara Falls, and they were absolutely amazing. I had a wonderful view, the American Falls, Canadian Falls, and it was just amazing. Everybody put that on your bucket list because the falls are truly amazing to see. And so and the Ontario clerks and the IIMCTO, they are actually the clerks, managers, and treasurers. So it was a wonderful learning experience. And I got to meet a lot of representatives from other organizations as well. So I really, really enjoyed it. It was great.
Right.
Okay, and I think I see Lisa Roth's name. Lisa, can you talk to us? I see her name, but I don't see her face. But Lisa is the region director from Region 7, I believe. They're in Missouri.
I think I think Lisa had to jump off because they had a officer in her city that had passed away. So I think she had to jump off. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I hate to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay. Did I miss anyone? That was fun getting caught up with everyone. So, and I see someone recommends the Maid of the Mist tour. Definitely. It was amazing. So I would recommend a trip to Niagara Falls. Okay. Anything else? You know, one thing about the Ontario, I will add, even though we're different countries, we had so many similarities. They were talking about elections. Stephen, you might hop in. Something about a new computer system on the way to do the elections and the voter rolls. That was very controversial. And we've had that here in Mississippi maybe 5 years ago. And so it was interesting to compare notes and hear their growing pains like the same we had. And even though it was a different country, we still go through the same processes. And so I found that very interesting. Of course, I loved visiting with my friend Debbie Wilcox. She is an expert on polling procedure, and I went to some of her classes, and I just really, really enjoyed the whole conference.
I'm glad. Yeah, no, that is a controversial issue for us here in Ontario. Or in Canada, we have, similar to the US, we have, a federal government, we have provincial governments, which you have similar to your states, and then we have local government. And management of the voters list has been all over the place. So the federal government, Elections Canada, manages the register of electors for the entire country. Elections Ontario has managed the voters list for the register of eligible electors for Ontario, driven by the federal list. But here in Ontario, the municipal voters list was managed by an organization called MPAC, the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation. So they're the ones that do our property assessments. They'd managed that for, well before my career anyways. They didn't do a great job of it, I'll be honest. And so now Elections Ontario is assumed responsibility for the voters list. But they're not, the way our voters list works for municipal elections is very different than, say, a federal or provincial election, because we deal with things like various school board support types. We deal with different qualifications to vote based on, it's not just about citizenship and 18 years of age and all that sort of stuff. There's a whole bunch of other factors. So we're a little concerned that the transition is not going to go as well as we want, and it's going to actually mean more work for us. But who knows, right? Anything new? I guess,
Yeah.
well, it's legislation, so we'll go with it. But hopefully Elections Ontario will work with the 444 municipal clerks to make sure that we are a little more successful than we have been in the past.
Thank you, Stephen, for sharing that. And one thing I learned in Ohio, which I found interesting, I noticed we have an Ohio clerk, Julie, on here. And I had never gone to a conference where we had invited someone from wildlife. We would call it in Mississippi, Wildlife and Fisheries Department. And so there was someone there, and he was talking about the how to properly and legally capture wild animals in your city and transplant them, move them out safely, and how you need to have a plan for this. And he focused on mainly coyote and deer. And I was like, no, we don't have a problem with that in law. And would you know, I jinxed myself. There is a coyote at the condos now. Where did that come from? I guess I brought him back home from Ohio, I guess. Because we never had a problem before, but we have one now. So I thought, well, maybe that's an idea for a class in Mississippi, one on how to deal with, wildlife that or happen to come into your city. It's becoming more and more of a problem, actually, I guess.
Hi, Mary.
Oh,
This
there's
is
Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you.
Yeah, we've had a lot going on this morning, but I am very excited to serve. We have a lot going on. We do have a Region 7 meeting coming up in Kansas City in September that I will be attending along with Celine, and looking forward to all the things regional directors do. Being new to it, it's a lot of stuff to take in, but I'm excited to serve and help as can do. We're glad to be on here this morning.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. We understand you have a lot going on in your city today.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, any other questions for me? Did I answer all the questions? Okay. Well, it is a pleasure to see you. I won't keep you any longer. I know we're all packed and got busy days. So please stay cool, everyone. Remember to have your liquid refreshment today. And please, if you ever need me, please give me a call. I'm in Laurel, Mississippi. So please contact me and I will do my best to answer your question. Just shoot me an email or call me anytime. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you.